People who have worked at drive-thrus, what is the weirdest thing you've heard from people who didn't realize you can still hear them after ordering? I'm hungry, Ann. I said, well, we can help with the first. You are on your own for the second one. He took it in stride and was still laughing when he got to the window. Maybe not that weird, but whatever. I work at Wendy's, and we had a guy come through who had this super deep masculine voice like the voice of a lumberjack or trucker, etc. He orders and then, because we are busy, he stuck back at the speaker. I think it was a party in the USA that started playing, and this guy starts singing along in a super high-pitched voice. Like little girl high-pitched. All of us with headsets, which we muted, started dying of laughter. It had been a busy day, but that man made it all better. I know this doesn't really count, but I was at the drive-thru and rolled down the window at the order menu. I didn't notice it at first, but a spider was climbing down into my opened window now. Guy speaker, hi, welcome to Dunkin'. What can I get for you? Me, hi, can I get, there's a spider. Followed by me screaming. Then a girl started also says over the speaker, should we help her? Once I finished my order, I pull up and pay. The guy I first heard talking to me hands me my donut and said, the weird girl drew spiders on your bag. Sorry about that. Not weird per se, but just plain rude. A woman pulled up talking on her phone. I asked what she would like. She told me she needed a minute while continuing her phone conversation. A minute later I asked if she was ready. She yelled no and then went back to her convo with a OMG, this at the drive-thru won't stop rushing me. It was lunch rush and there was a lot to do inside, so I started helping the other team members and ignored her 30 seconds later when she was ready to order. Made her wait a full 3 minutes before actually taking her order. Waste my time and call me and I'll waste yours, lady. PS, we can hear everything you say the second you pull up. I work at the local Cowles Jr. near my home, and one day I had a couple, I think, that once they finished ordering talked about how they would put the food on each other's body parts and eat off them while they had. I believe his exact words were, I can't wait to take a bite out of that chicken sandwich. Quite a weird experience, and the best part was when he pulled up to the window, he asked if I could speed up his order cause he had a very important meeting to attend. One of the greatest things I have experienced to this day. I was a teenager when I realized that they can still hear you. My 2 friends and I went to a local drive-thru when we were also super high. We ordered $50 of food, which was a ton of food from this particular place, and after placing the order my friend said, do you think they can tell we are stoned? And the dude on the intercom laughed. What was worse was that we could see him looking at us through the drive-thru window laughing at us. I was so mortified and paranoid that I literally hid on the floor of the backseat. I hope he remembers and thinks it was funny. Sorry for the I don't work at a drive-thru post, but my youngest brother eats out a lot. He lives in a small town with about 5 restaurants, but he really only eats at Taco John's and Subway. He went to TJ's for the 4th day in a row and the worker told him they would just have his order ready at the window. He asked how they knew what he wanted, and the worker told him that even if he didn't eat there constantly, they had all heard him rehearsing his order before actually ordering and knew what he wanted before he officially told them. He was so embarrassed he didn't eat there for a full week. I used to work at Taco Bell, and it would get backed up when we were busy, where the cars would still be triggering the ordering system and the meg would still be on. There were a couple of teenage girls who came through and ordered, and then started jamming to the Lion King soundtrack at full volume while they waited. I had to take off my headset till the line moved. Somewhat related, I also had someone come through the drive-thru once with a sleeping female passenger under a blanket, who woke when I started talking to the driver. She started moving, and I quickly realized she was completely naked under the blanket. The driver also realized what was happening and readjusted the blanket while handing me the money for the order. It was odd. A KFC in the town over had someone selling weed through the drive-thru. His customers would ask for extra biscuits with their order, and he would put the weed in the bag. A soccer mom one day went through, had about 5 kids with her. She orders extra biscuits for them. That guy was fired pretty quickly. Made the evening news too. A Starbucks employee once heard my muffled crying and gave me my drink for free. I was embarrassed because for some reason I was crying simply because I heard that Jimmy Fallon's mother had died. I don't even like him that much, but I guess it just really hit me lol. I used to work at McDonald's. I was on the headset. We finished serving breakfast at 10:30. Guy pulls up at 10:40 and asks I'll have a sausage and egg McMuffin. I apologize and say that we are not serving breakfast anymore. There's silence for around 10 seconds. Then I hear him say "Puss" fairly loudly and drive out of the drive-thru at around 30 miles per hour. Way too fast. He nearly clipped some own side mirror as he came past. Heard someone give their personal info, date of birth, social security number, payment information, over the phone. One time these 3 guys who were stoned out of their minds came through. It took like a full 5 minutes to get through the order because they couldn't stop laughing. Also, the guy was ordering Whoppers and I don't work at Burger King. Then at the window, they had to change a bunch of the order and he was still saying Whoppers. I told him we don't serve Whoppers and they all started laughing again. My mom calls the drive-thru people stupid all the time once they stop talking, and I hope they always hear me remind her that they make her food. Usually farts, burps, or singing. Generally before or after they've ordered, but there's a long drive-thru line, so they have to wait at the microphone. We overheard a raccoon fight one time that was pretty awesome. A guy was having phone, and it started playing over the drive-thru speaker. Not a drive-thru worker, was way back in high school, but I was on the receiving end. One day my mom and I are going through the DT for some Dairy Queen. They were taking forever, as they usually do around here, and she screams, "Oh my god, it's only ice cream." Lady on the speaker responded with, "Yep, it sure is." Her face went beet red. I was only 15 at the time. I died 16 years later, and I still yell "It's only ice cream" at my mom. I was hoping to see the guy that heard my drunk girlfriend in the backseat yelling "I want tater wedges" at midnight about 2 to 3 minutes after I had already ordered 3 orders of potato wedges. One time I was at Taco Bell. I told the girl taking my order that I was going to look at the menu for a minute before I ordered, so she was silent. I saw a giant rat run under the menu and towards the building. I said, "Holy, that's a huge rat." And the girl over the speaker very quietly says, "Sorry about that." I had no idea they could hear me until that moment. I work at a Starbucks drive-thru, and one time an older woman and a girl maybe early 20s drove up to the box. The woman started ordering then screamed, and we could hear a commotion, then saw the younger girl slapping the out of the woman. Then the woman started to drive forward while screaming, then the girl gets out and had crutches and a broken leg, just started hobbling away. I still have no idea what that was about. Not sure if this totally counts, but happened in the drive-thru. Had a guy have a heart attack right at the window. He walked up to the window. We told him to come out the doors, but he hit the ground. Called 911, and they took him away. Couple weeks later the same staff was working. Turns out he worked it out with the manager. He came in and bought us pizza and a gift card for each of us to say thank you. Was pretty crazy. Don't think I'll ever forget it. Heard a woman talk about on the phone with, I'm assuming, a friend of hers, because they were talking a pen about how whatever guy she had with had a small, and both of them cackled maniacally. I could hear the woman on the phone because she was so loud. I worked at a Tim Hortons drive-thru years ago. After ordering her coffee, this lady turns up an audiobook she was listening to about dismembering people and disposing of body parts. There was this one time that the line was in a standstill and the mic didn't turn off, so this dude says, "Oh yeah, man, I heard my brother got in the butt last night. You know that happened, and I'll never forget it as long as I live." Was working a drive-thru and this guy is on the phone while ordering his food. I and the other person on mic heard him say something along the lines of how his buddy Dave had gotten into a car wreck. We didn't get to hear the rest of the story. However, he pulls up to the window and I go, "Is Dave okay? We're all dying to know." He looked shocked and then laughed and said that yes, Dave was fine. It wasn't a bad night. I was standing in Carl's Jr. waiting for my lunch one day and someone pulled into the drive-thru asking if their $1 chicken sandwiches had a tax. After they were told yes, he goes, "It'll just go to MC Donald's, still going to have tax there, man." Can't remember the whole conversation, but the woman had her sister on the phone through the car speakers and her sister was talking about how she had anal for the first time the night before. I guess the looks on our faces when she pulled around gave away that we could hear BC. She laughed and told her sister, who if memory serves, laughed as well. Once I heard a young group in a Hummer passing out biscuits and talking about the fried chicken they just got from KFC. This was while in my drive-thru line at Popeyes. I used to work at a McDonald's in my town. This lady starts to order and she sounds incredibly rude. This new guy didn't know how to work the headset and he had the microphone on. Here was the convo. We will call him an idiot. Idiot. Man, this lady sounds like a Mia, your headset is on, please. Turn it off. Idiot. Bet she's fat tush soldering all this. Food me, your microphone is on. She can hear you. Idiot. What do you mean? No, it's not. He just kept going. I ended up having to go up to the front and knocking the headset off his head. The lady wasn't very happy either.